Hi, Neil. Sorry I'm so late. Have you been waiting for long?
You were late finishing at work, weren't you? Mr. Johnson suddenly gave you a load of work to do just before you were due to leave, didn't he?
Don't even mention him. I don't even want to think about it. Why is he always like this on a Friday especially? Doesn't he have a home to go to or something? The work-life balance is much better in your team, isn't it? I'm thinking about asking to switch teams, you see.
If you change to our team, we'll welcome you with open arms. You're really good at your job, so I'm sure everyone would be pleased to have you. Just take this opportunity to move.
I'll have a proper think about it. Have you ordered any food at all? I'm starving.
Order yourself something. There won't be enough for all of us anyway. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, one of my old school friends was in the area, so I said that he could come. That's okay, isn't it?
Your friend? Is he good looking? That's a joke, by the way. Yeah, of course, the more the merrier.
Oh, here he is now. Hi, Tim. What are you doing on this side of town anyway? Oh, I had a meeting on the next street. I remembered that this was your area of town, so I just called to see if you were around. Hello.
Hi.
Lucy, this is my high school friend, Tim. Tim, this is my favorite junior at work, Lucy. I didn't expect to be introducing my friends and co-workers to each other. Tim tends to be quite frugal, so he doesn't come to the bar often, you see. Ah, that's because I just got into the habit of saving money. You know how it is. I do sometimes go out and have a drink with friends, you know. I don't not spend money all the time, honest. Hey, what are you explaining yourself to Lucy for? You're strange sometimes. Anyway, since you've met like this, you may as well get to know each other. Tim works in our accounts department, so he's a very useful person to get to know. He might even be able to help you switch teams, if that's really what you want to do.
Oh, really? Can we be friends then? I think it'd be very good for me. I don't know what use it'll be, but that sounds good. Let's have a drink. Tim, what are you doing here? What would have happened if I had been working late?
Well, I would have just had to wait, or just bought you dinner instead, I guess. Surprise!
You really are so sweet. I love it that you come to pick me up from work. It's made me feel so special.
Really? I'd better pick you up from work more often if you like it this much. Well done for getting through another day. Here.
Wow, flowers? Is it a special day today or something? They're beautiful. I love them. Thank you so much, Tim.
I just saw them on my way here and I thought that you'd like them, so I bought them for you. It isn't a special day or anything, but it's just nice to get a present sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, Tim, you're so romantic. I really do have the best boyfriend ever. You're always so careful with your money. How are you good at this kind of thing, too?
Spending money on you doesn't feel like a waste. I just don't like spending money on myself. It's fine spending it on you.
Because you love me? You really are amazing. What should we have for dinner then?
Let's go to my place tonight. Mom's gone to the countryside to visit my aunt, so she isn't at home. I went to the shops earlier to get the ingredients to make you dinner. Pasta's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds great. I love your pasta, don't I? You're good at cooking, have a great personality, romantic. What else could I possibly want from a boyfriend? You're a first-grade potential husband.
Oh, really? So if I keep going like this, you'll marry me?
I'll have a think about it. I'll put a positive mark next to your name. You could always try to propose if you wanted to.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. First, I'll try to persuade you by making you a delicious meal. Let's go. You've got your seatbelt on, right?
Tim, there's something I've been curious about for a while. You know you're very frugal. Do you put a brick in your toilet cistern to save water?
Not a brick, no. I use a big plastic bottle. That saves a lot of water without making it dirty, you see?
How about the heating? When I came here in the summer, it wasn't that hot, and when I came in the winter, it wasn't that cold. But you're good at saving, aren't you? When I looked at the utility bill last time, it wasn't that expensive.
When you came, I was worried that you'd be either hot or cold, so I turned the heating or aircon on. I usually don't use them much though. Mom and I don't really get that hot, so we feel fine most of the time for the summer, except maybe the few really hot days. And in the winter, we just wear thick clothes and sleep on a heated blanket, and that's fine for us.
I really enjoy hearing you speak about things like this. You're so frugal, and I feel like I learn something new every time we talk about it. It can't be easy to form those kinds of habits. I guess your mom must be the same. What with the two of you living together and all.
You could do it too, Lucy, if you put your mind to it. It's just that you haven't got into the habit of saving, that's all. I guess we didn't have a choice. My dad died early, and my mom had to raise me alone, so we had to save money as we didn't have a lot. I'm just so used to this way of life now that I just save without really thinking about it, if I'm honest.
I have so much to learn from you. I really like that about you. I needed to change my spending habits, and I fixed quite a lot of my bad habits through watching you over the last few months. I think you're making me a better person.
It makes me feel good to hear you say that. You're really good at your job and make a lot of money too. If you learn how to save money on top of that, you'll be rich in no time.
Do you think? I don't think it's that easy to change your spending habits like that, but I'll try a bit harder.
You can do that. If you need any help, you only need to ask. I used my salary, so you should have a bit more money left than I do, but you can fix it. If there's something you want to try, I'll help you. Spending my time and money on you, Lucy, isn't a waste to me at all, you know?
Why are you saying these lovely things? You're making me emotional. I'll try harder to save. Thank you, Tim. Tim, I have something that I want to show you. Look at this!
Oh, it's your savings account. Wow, you've managed to save quite a lot. That's amazing.
I've managed to save all of this since you've been helping me. I'm going to use this as my wedding fund.
Wedding fund? You're gonna start getting ready to get married?
Yes, to you, of course. You've helped me to understand money and how to spend and save smartly, and I would now like to spend the rest of my life getting through hardships and learning about my newfound hobby with you by my side.
What are you doing? I was gonna propose to you. Why did you have to get yours in there before me?
Who proposes first isn't important. Us living together and becoming a family is the important thing.
Thank you, Lucy. I'll try my hardest to live my best life with you. I'm sure we'll be very happy together. Thank you so much for wanting to marry me.
Me too. I'm so grateful to you for all you've done for me. And I love you, I really do. I'm sure we can be really happy together.
Lucy, when do you finish work? I finished a bit early today for once. Did you go shopping already today? The fridge is absolutely stuffed full.
I went shopping yesterday for the ingredients to make our dinner for the week. If you're at home already, please can you put the washing on and hang it up if it finishes before I get home?
There's only 2 of us living here. How could we possibly need all of that food? Why did you buy so much? It looks to me like you're just spending without thinking things through properly again. You're writing a household ledger, aren't you? Let's have a quick look at it together when you get back.
We usually eat about that much in a week. I guess you've never looked in the fridge straight after I've been food shopping. It's the same things that I normally buy, and I should know as I do all the cooking. The household ledger is on the bookshelf, so you can have a look now if you want to. What are you going to try to change now, I wonder? I've been saving better than you have even for quite a while now. Do you think I just spend money willy-nilly when I'm the one doing all the shopping and stuff?
Well, I'll find out soon, won't I? I'll see you home later, okay?
Oh, he's such a nag sometimes. I'm doing fine, but there's always something that he isn't satisfied with that he feels the need to quarrel about. I really want to slap him sometimes. Lucy, are you okay? What's the matter? Your husband's nagging you about saving again, isn't he? Yep. This time he's nagging me because I went food shopping for the week yesterday and apparently I bought too much. It's not actually that much. It's the same amount as I usually buy, and to be honest, with the amount that he eats, it might not be enough. I think the main problem is he's never looked in the fridge straight after I've been shopping. I wish he'd stop poking his nose into things that he knows nothing about. He really is exhausting with all his nagging. Frugal husbands are a problem too, I see. Well, I guess it's better than having a husband who just spends money the second he gets his hands on it. I think my husband would go bankrupt really quickly if it wasn't for me holding him back. Even so, didn't you say that you learn a lot about economics and were able to save quite a lot of money thanks to your husband? I did, yes. I learned so much from him. It was really good. That's one of the reasons that I ended up marrying him. But the man who said he'd help me do whatever I wanted when we dated has disappeared somewhere, leaving only the "we must save no matter what" man behind. On top of that, he seems to be spending more and more, which is making me really mad when he watches whatever I spend like a hawk. Did you say your husband earns a bit more than you? I can't remember. Is that why, maybe? It's surprising that he lets you take care of the money, though. To tell you the truth, I do the shopping and most of the household stuff, and I also earn a bit more than him, so it makes sense that I do it. Since we got married, I've been taking care of the money and writing a household ledger and stuff, and I've actually realized that I have quite a talent for it. Oh, really? I guess your husband's quite narrow-minded. Anyway, it'll be good that you know how to do all that and how to save your money later when you have kids. You'll have the money that you will have saved up until then, too. You don't think he'll be stingy when it comes to the kid, do you? He seems to spend money on what he thinks it's okay to spend it on, if that makes sense. If a child will fall into that category, I'm not sure. Anyway, when I go home tonight, we'll probably have another row. Lucy, I'll get you a coffee. Let's go downstairs for a minute. Oh, really? Thank you. You've cheered me up a bit at least. You're the best. They say you should love your coworkers and your country. Let's drink some coffee and see if we can't cheer you up a bit. Hey, Tim, I'm back.
Oh, hey, Lucy. You're a bit late again tonight, aren't you? Is your workplace busy again recently?
We suddenly got loads to do again. What about dinner? Have you eaten?
Of course I haven't. You, the person who makes dinner, hadn't got home. How could I have eaten the dinner that you haven't made yet?
Okay, I'll get it ready now for you.
Why did you buy so much food at the shops yesterday? It's too much for just the two of us to eat, surely.
No, it isn't. It's probably not enough, if I'm honest. Why are you, the person who eats the most, saying that I have bought too much food?
Do you use all of that in your cooking? It seems like you bought a lot more than you cook. That's why I said something. The detergent came today too. Don't you think you're changing it a bit too frequently?
Tim, how do you know nothing about how a household works? I know that you lived with your mom right up until you married me, but even so, you don't take any notice of how many ingredients go into cooking, and you don't check how much detergent is left. How can you then nag me about buying food or detergent? I don't use a lot either. I use it really carefully to make sure it lasts as long as I can. Didn't you look at the household ledger? I really don't understand how you can nag me so much about household things when you don't help out at all.
You used to use loads of detergent, didn't you? I'm just making sure that you don't go back to your old ways, that's all.
That was years ago now. How could you still be worrying about that? I thought you were just complaining about me buying things I didn't need again, didn't I?
I'm not complaining. Am I really worrying about nothing? If you start spending more, it's really difficult to reduce it again. You know that, don't you? So I'm helping you to make sure that that doesn't happen again, that's all. You told me that you were grateful that I did that for you before.
Tim, that was donkeys years ago now. Since we've been married and I've been managing our money, have we ever lost any or suddenly got in debt? I'm using our money really carefully so we have some in our savings account and still have enough spare money as well. Also, don't you think you should be worrying about your spending increasing rather than about mine?
I am still using my money carefully like I always have. What is there to worry about?
Well, you hadn't had your phone for very long, and you were thinking about upgrading it to the latest model. You've suddenly become obsessed with designer gear when you had no interest in it at all before. This time it seems to be shoes. Don't you think I realize that your online shopping cart is full of all of this stuff?
I haven't bought any of it yet, though, have I? I've just been looking. Am I not even allowed to look at anything? Looking at things that I think are pretty doesn't cost money, does it?
That's true, it doesn't. If it stays that way, I won't say anything else about it. But if I catch you buying anything without me knowing, there'll be trouble, understand? Now, the person who is always telling me to save is starting to spend more and more. You don't have the right to nag me about saving if that's the case. You understand, don't you?
Why are you going on about me buying things again? I haven't even bought anything yet. I only buy things when I have enough money left to do it. I'm not always spending money, you know?
Okay, if you say so. You're all mouth. You keep that in mind, understand? You're not the only one that's watching.
I said that I understood, didn't I?
Hello, Mom. Long time no speak. How have you been?
Hi, Lucy. I'm good, thanks. Have you had dinner? I just called because I wanted to hear your voice. It seems like I haven't spoken to you for so long, you know?
Do you miss me? How about I go to see you on the weekend? How's the preparation for your move going?
Of course I miss you. You're my daughter. I've already packed everything, so even if you come here, there's nowhere for you to sleep. Come over when I've moved, okay?
How do you feel about the move? You've lived in the same place since before I was born, haven't you?
I'm a bit nervous, a bit excited, a bit sad. I don't know, really. We have a lot of memories in this house after all, don't we? After you were born, the three of us lived happily in this house for a really long time.
We did, didn't we? I feel a little sad about it too, to be honest. Mom, because we didn't move at all when I was growing up, and because you and Dad were government officers, I thought the government wouldn't let us move.
What? You're so silly sometimes, aren't you? How cute.
Mom, is there anything you need for your new place? Seeing as it's the first time that you've moved, won't you need to get a lot of new furniture and appliances? The ones you have are all already really old now, aren't they?
I was just looking at new fridges, to be honest. We've ordered a new TV as well. Your dad is getting so excited about choosing all the new furniture, you know. He's like a small child.
Dad's so cute sometimes. Mom, don't bother getting a new fridge then. I'll get one for you. It's the first time you've moved house since you married Dad. That's the least I can do, surely.
You don't have the money for that. You don't have to do that, it's fine. Me and your dad are still working. We have the money to do it ourselves.
Mom, I've got a pretty good job as well, you know. I can buy you a fridge at least. Don't worry about it. And don't go buying one before I do, okay? I'll order you a fridge to be delivered on your moving date. I'd better let Tim know.
Okay, thanks, Lucy. Don't go buying a really expensive one now, will you?
Mom, we couldn't afford to buy you a really expensive one even if we wanted to. Anyway, I'd better go now. Speak to you again soon. Good luck with your packing and getting things ready to move. Bye.
Thanks again, Lucy. Bye.
Have your parents got everything ready for their move?
It seems like they're still getting ready. These days, moving companies are pretty cheap, and Dad seems to be having a great time looking at new furniture and appliances. It's the first time that they've moved since I was born, so I think they're pretty excited, really. Oh yeah, seeing as this is the first time they've moved house, I want to get them some furniture or an appliance as a present. I was thinking of getting them a fridge. What do you think?
Sure, that sounds like a good idea. I know a place that sells great furniture and appliances cheap, you see. I'll have a look for a good model and get them to send it to your parents' new place on their moving day. Send me the money and I'll put the money I don't use back into our living expenses account.
Oh, do you think you could do that? I could have a look if it's too much trouble.
No, it's fine. I'll find a good model and get it delivered. Don't worry about it. Just leave it to me.
Okay, then, if you're sure that's all right. Thank you, Tim. I'll just have a look at the average price and put some money into your account. If you need any more, just let me know and I'll send you some more.
You don't have to thank me. I know a really good place, so I definitely won't need any more money. Don't worry and just leave it to me. Your parents are my family too, so their problems are my problems. I'll make sure to get them a really good fridge for their new apartment.
Do you know what kind of appliances people are using nowadays? You do, don't you?
Sure I do. I'll get to it right away.
I trust you. Of course I do. When you've bought it, let me know and I'll tell Mom that we've got it for her.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna start looking now, while I'm still thinking about it.
Mom, it's me. Wow, your new place is really nice. It really does look like a new apartment.
Hi, Lucy. What do you think of her new place then? Do you like it? Your dad and I have both been in such a good mood since we moved here, you know?
Hello, Lucy. My beautiful daughter's arrived at last. Have you eaten? You haven't, have you? Just wait a sec. I'll get something ready for you.
No, I haven't eaten yet. Thanks, Dad. Oh, is that the fridge that we got you?
What? You didn't go and choose the fridge you sent to us?
Oh, no. Tim said he knew a good place, so I left it to him, you see. How is it? Do you like it? He told me to go and see it when you'd moved, so this is the first time I've seen it, to be honest. It's pretty.
You say that Tim sent it to us. The thing is, Lucy, the fridge you sent isn't this one. It's in the storage room over there.
The storage room? Why? Did you put it in there because you didn't like it? Or did you put it in there because you'd already bought a different one? I told you I'd get you a fridge, didn't I?
The thing is, even though it's just the two of us here, the fridge that Tim sent was a bit small and, I don't think it was new.
What? What do you mean? Let me have a look. He sent this? Why on earth did he send you something like this? Are you saying that you and Dad bought the one in the kitchen then? I really don't believe him. I should have checked what he was doing before he sent it to you. What made me think he'd do it properly on his own? I sent him enough money for a new one too. Mom, Dad, I'm really sorry. I really wanted to get you a nice one, seeing as it's the first time you've moved house. I should have just done it myself.
Don't worry about it, Lucy. It's fine. The fact that you thought of us and wanted to get us a good one is enough for us. And it's only your dad and I that's going to be living here. It makes sense that we get our own stuff, really. We just put yours in the storage room just in case we needed it. If we didn't have enough space in our other one, we were going to use that one as well.
No, Mom, it's fine. The one you've got will be plenty. I can't let you use this old piece of junk, and it'll just be wasting space in your storage room, won't it? I'll take this with me and try to sell it or something, I guess. Leave it here for now. Mom, is it okay if I just have lunch here today and go again? I'll be back again soon, I promise.
Yes, that's fine. Of course it is. Don't go fighting with Tim about this now, okay? He must have looked around and chosen it carefully. He probably didn't know any better. I mean, why would he know anything about fridges anyway, right? It must have been expensive, even though it looks like that. So don't just jump to conclusions and start a fight without at least trying to talk to him calmly about it first. Do you understand?
Yes, Mom. I'll just try to talk to him about it.
Oh, hi Lucy, you're back. How was your parents' new place? I wanted to go and have a look myself, really, but unfortunately something came up at work.
Can you come over here and sit down a minute, please? There's something I want to talk to you about.
Sure, what's the problem? Did your parents like the fridge? I got it delivered to their new place on the day that they moved, but I had to go straight to work, so I couldn't see your parents to talk to them or anything. They must have been really busy as well. They haven't even called. I guess moving house is really stressful, and they must have had so much to organize. Maybe they just didn't have time to even think about calling.
Do you have anything that you want to say to me?
Not really, I don't think. What are you talking about? Oh, you want to know where I got the fridge from, or if I had enough money to buy it. Well, I had plenty of money, and I got it from a really good place that I know. I told you that you didn't need to worry about it, okay?
Tim, is this really the way things are going to be? I told you that this was the first time that Mom and Dad had moved house, didn't I? Why did you send them a tiny second-hand fridge like that when you knew that that wasn't what I wanted to do? That because it was the first time they'd moved and everything, I wanted to get them something a bit special. When I saw that tiny little fridge that you had bought for my parents today, I felt so sorry and embarrassed that I couldn't even say a word.
What do you mean? What were you embarrassed about? I went all over to try and find that fridge. It was a clean, top-of-the-range one that hadn't even been used for very long. Do you know how hard that kind of model is to find?
I didn't tell you that they were moving for the first time, or that they were replacing all their old furniture and appliances for you to go and get them a second-hand fridge, did I? And even if there are only 2 of them living there, it's a family home. You've seen how big ours is, haven't you? That's the kind of fridge that people have. Those tiny little ones are for people who have just moved away from their families to go to college, or maybe for men living on their own. It's no use at all in a family home. My parents couldn't throw it out as they thought I got it for them, so they put it in the storage room and bought a new one for the kitchen themselves.
Why do 2 people need such a big fridge? They'll hardly put anything in it anyway, so the one that I got them should be plenty big enough. I really don't understand the problem. Anything bigger than that for 2 people is just an extravagance. Do you realize how hard I looked and how many places I visited to try and find a fridge that was of good quality and a perfect size for 2 people?
Stop being so ridiculous. I was really upset seeing what you'd bought for my parents, even though I'd given you plenty of money to get them a nice one. You must have known that I wanted to get them a new one at least, not a second-hand one. Both of my parents are government workers, so I haven't even needed to set aside any money to help them when they get old. They never want to accept gifts or meals or anything from me either. I just wanted to get them something nice for once, something that they could use for a long time. How stupid must you be to think that that is a suitable gift for my parents? That was what I wanted to buy them. You think it's fine getting something like that to put in your wife's parents' new apartment? Do you really look down on me and my parents that much? I'm going to sell that one and give my parents spending money to the value of the fridge that I wanted to get them. Understood? If you aren't totally stupid, you won't say any more on this subject, okay? Surely you should get proper, good things for our family to use. Were you trying to save money on a moving present for my parents? Don't you think they're worth spending any money on? How would you feel if I did the same to your mom? Would you like it?
Okay, I get it. Why are you bringing my mom into this, though? If they didn't like it, they could have just said that they didn't like it. I don't know why you're making such a fuss about it. Did your mom say that she didn't like it? Oh dear, your mom's gonna get into a lot of bother later if she keeps spending money like that, you know? A government officer's salary isn't even that much. How can she throw so much money around like that?
Tim, enough. You've nearly crossed the line now. You've said enough to be sorry about already. Don't you realize that you aren't in any position to talk about my parents' salaries? Watch your mouth. I've already restrained myself several times. I don't think I can keep my mouth shut for much longer.
Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said those things about your parents. But surely you shouldn't be looking down on your husband because he doesn't make as much as your parents? You went too far then as well, you know?
I told you that I'd had enough.
Okay. So, you're gonna move. Your sister wants you to go and live near her.
Oh, Mom! Are you going to move to the countryside?
Yes, my sister says to stop coming to stay all the time and going to and fro between here and there, but to just move down there and live near her. Apparently, one of the apartments on the same floor as her is empty because they've moved, so there's a place there for me to move to. I think this is a really good opportunity to move back to the countryside. You've got married and moved out, and all my friends live in the countryside, so I think it'll be better for me to move there as well.
Of course, you'll be a lot less bored and have a lot more fun if you lived near your sister, wouldn't you? When are you planning on moving then?
I'm going to move next month. I signed the contract when I went to see my sister the other week, you see. I just need to pack everything up and move.
Why don't you get new appliances seeing as you're moving? They never seem to travel well anyway, and it's a good opportunity to change them. Lucy's parents moved not so long ago, and they got all new appliances then. We got them a fridge.
Yes, they did. Haven't you used your fridge for a long time too, Mom? I think moving to the countryside would be a good opportunity to change it.
Okay then, if you're gonna get me a new one, it's fine by me. Thank you. Thanks to you two, I can finally get a new fridge. They're pretty expensive though, aren't they? Are you sure that it's okay?
There are a lot of fridges with great functions at reasonable prices these days. You're the only one who's going to use it anyway.
She's right, there are. Why don't we go and have a look around together when we're both free? If you're going to be using it, it's only right that you get to choose the one that you like, isn't it? It'll be like a mother-son date. We haven't done anything just the two of us for a really long time now, have we?
A date? That sounds amazing. Now I think about it, we haven't done anything, just the two of us, for a very long time. Sure, how about this weekend? I think I'm free then. How about you?
This weekend? That sounds great. I'll come and pick you up on Saturday morning. We could go and have a look in all the shops.
The shops? That jerk didn't get my parents that rubbish fridge on purpose to save money when he really knew what I was expecting and where to get a proper fridge, did he? Hi, Mom. We just got here.
Oh, hi, Lucy. It was a long journey down, wasn't it? I hope the roads weren't too busy. Tim said you were busy last week. I was expecting you to come with him then.
We were going to come together today, too, but something suddenly came up at Tim's workplace, so he had to go into work, and I've just come down on my own, you see. I'm busy again from next week, so I thought that if I didn't come now, I wouldn't be able to see you in your new place for a long time.
Oh, I see. Thanks for making the effort and coming down on your own. You're going to drive back tomorrow, aren't you? Let's go out somewhere nice for dinner later with my sister.
Okay, Mom, that sounds great. You really have done a great job decorating the place. It looks amazing. Wow, you changed all the appliances too. Did you go and look at other things after you went to get the fridge with Tim? The appliances all match, though. It looks like they were all bought together. That's strange. It looks really good, though, as they're all like a set.
Didn't he show you any of this? I changed all the appliances at the same time when I went shopping with Tim that time. He said that they were all really old, so I should just change the whole lot. Thanks to my son, it really does look like I've moved to a new house.
Excuse me? You're saying that you didn't just change the fridge when you went shopping with Tim, and that you changed everything?
Yes, I did. Come over here and have a look. These days, you can change all your appliances at the same time and have them match, like a set, you know. We went to look at fridges, but they had air conditioners and washing machines to match, you see. They said that if we buy the whole set, they'd sell it to us a lot cheaper. Thanks to you, I'm even getting the chance to use a tumble dryer for the first time in my life. Apparently, everyone has one nowadays. When I saw that you had one, I didn't really see the need for it, to be honest. But now I've tried it, it really is amazing. It's so much easier, and the towels feel lovely, too.
Mom, when you phoned before, didn't you say thanks for the fridge? That's what made me think you'd only bought a fridge, you see.
We were only going to get a fridge originally, but the employee at the shop gave us a great deal and was really good to us, you know. So in the end, Tim just said to take this opportunity to change all the appliances to new ones so that I could use them all for a long time. He really is a great son, you know? I'm so lucky to have him.
Oh, I see. I'm glad that you like them anyway. Mom, my phone's ringing a second. I'll just go and answer it. I'll be back again.
Hi, Lucy, it's me. Did you get to Mom's new place okay? What do you think? It's really nice, isn't it? Don't you think it looks a lot better with all the appliances from the same set matching like that?
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. What on earth have you done? Have you lost your mind? You said you were just going to buy a fridge, but you've changed all of her appliances to the most expensive matching set without even talking to me about it first?
Well, Mom had used them all for years, so it was time to change them anyway. It was the first time that she'd moved house in 20 years, and she says that she's going to stay there for the rest of her life. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to change everything to new things that would last.
I thought you said you were good at finding cheap appliances. When my parents moved house, you bought them a tiny secondhand fridge to save money, and because there were only 2 of them anyway. But it's a different story now that your mom has moved house, isn't it?
It's not that. My mom lives by herself, doesn't she? Your parents are both government officers, so have good pensions and everything set up for when they retire. My mom has nothing. Surely it's my duty as her son to spend money on my mom? Do you think it'd feel like a waste of that money to me? The look on her face alone when I bought it all for her made it all worthwhile. I told you this when we were dating, didn't I? That I don't feel bad spending money on the people that I love. That spending money on them doesn't feel like a waste to me.
Do you think now is the time to bring that up? Oh, I've had enough. Let's talk about this more when I get home tomorrow. Bye.
You can stay a bit longer. Why are you in such a rush to leave all of a sudden?
Something has come up at work, I'm afraid. Sorry I can't stay longer, Mom.
Oh, I see. Well, if it is work, it can't be helped. Drive carefully, won't you? Next time, try to find time in your schedules and come down together. Oh, and Tim was looking a bit skinny last time I saw him. Make sure that he's eating well for me, won't you? Even if you save money in other areas, you shouldn't be stingy with your husband's food. Do you understand?
Yes, Mom. I'll be off now. I'll let you know when I get home. See you next time.
Hi, Lucy. You're back early, aren't you?
Now that you're up, come over here and sit down. We have things to talk about.
Oh, what? Do we have to do this already? Let's talk about this later, okay?
Later? So you can try to change the subject? No, sit down. We need to talk about it now.
Oh, okay. Do you really think that spending money on your mother-in-law's new house is really that much of a waste? Do we really have to fight just because I bought a few new appliances for her?
Do you think I'm acting like this now because you spend money on your mom? Do you really not have a conscience? My parents moved house too, a few months ago. Do you not remember what you did then? There have been several times where I felt bad about things that you have done or the way that you have acted, but I just thought that it'd be fine if I just did better and moved on. I really can't do that this time. I can't just put up with what you've done and move on. How much was the fridge that you got secondhand for my parents? I bet it wasn't even $100, was it?
It was more expensive than that. I paid $150 for it. It was more expensive than that, but they knocked $25 off of me. How good is that? You can save money and get a practically brand new fridge.
You think that is good, do you? You said that your mom was moving house for the first time in 20 years, didn't you? My mom and dad were moving for the first time since they got married. They'd lived in that house their whole married lives, since before I was born. Their appliances had also been used for a lot longer than your mom's had. That's why I wanted to get them a new fridge. You acted like you were doing me a favor, saying not to worry, that you know a good place and that you get the fridge for them. Then you give them that as a present? Yet when I went to your mom's place, it was a different story. All the appliances were new, top of the range, matching even.
That's not it. Your parents still work. They could buy new and better appliances or furniture, or anything really, whenever they want to. My mom's on her own and would never be able to afford to do that.
You've been like this for years. This isn't the first time that you've acted like this towards my parents. Think about all the holidays. When we've been to my parents' place, you just want to take some gift that we've received but don't want. But when we've been to your mom's place, you've always gone out and bought her expensive presents, haven't you? At the time, I just let it go because I could just buy and send my parents something better. Birthdays are the same. This definitely isn't the first time that you've acted like this, and I'm sure that it won't be the last. A saving mentality is good. Yes, I get that. That's one of the reasons that I ended up marrying you. But why do you get to choose who is worthy of and not worthy of spending our money on like this? Answer this question for me. How much did it cost you to buy all those appliances for your mom?
It wasn't as much as you would expect, actually. If you buy it all at once in a set like that, it's cheaper, which is why I did it like that.
Do you think I'm stupid? If you buy them as a set, the individual prices are discounted, so they are cheaper, yes. But you've had to buy a lot more items than you originally planned to get that discount, haven't you? So of course you have spent a lot more altogether. You got a fridge, an air conditioner, a washing machine, and a tumble dryer, didn't you? That must have cost at least $10,000. How could you spend all of that at once without even speaking to me about it? You're the one that's forever nagging me about saving. Where did all that money come from?
You put half of each of our salaries into separate savings accounts, don't you? Well, I took it out of that. That's my money anyway, isn't it?
Well, that's actually money that I have put aside so that we can use it later if we have kids. I didn't put it there for you to just use it however you felt like. And because I make more money than you, I've been putting half of my wages into your savings account and the rest into our savings account. I've been saving your money for you while using mine for our living expenses. If I put the same amount as you do in each account, I still have enough left over, you see. Didn't you realize that it's been my money that you've been spending this whole time? Of course you knew. With a personality like yours, you knew exactly what I was doing with every cent. You just chose to ignore it so that you could use it however you wanted to. Do you not have a conscience?
I was planning to put it all back again once I'd saved enough, I promise. Don't you know me? Who did you even learn all of your saving habits from? It's thanks to me that you know how to do all of that stuff.
You're right. I did learn it from you. But now, I'm the only one who practices it anymore. When you lived alone and spent your own money, you had no choice but to save because you didn't earn enough to do any differently. But after we got married and you could use my money as well, you just started doing and eating whatever you wanted without giving a single thought to the savings you go on about so much. You just kept nagging me about saving every day when you were just doing whatever took your fancy. Do you think I didn't know what you were doing? I told you before, I'm not stupid. You should have been just a little careful. This time you've crossed a line and I can't just shut my eyes to it all anymore. You didn't buy a car because you said how much of a waste of money it was, and yet drive mine around like it's your own. You didn't even put anything towards this house, did you? I took out a loan for it, in my name. Because of your low salary, you couldn't get a big enough loan to cover it, you see? I ended up paying that loan off using our spare money, which, again, came out of my wages, as you have nothing left at the end of the month. All the appliances, too, my spare money.
I don't see why we need 2 cars. That's just a waste, isn't it? If I take you to work and pick you up after, we can save a lot of money too, can't we?
Oh, really? But do you drop me off and pick me up every day? Oh, you did for a while at the start, I guess, but that's it. Well, I guess you had to then so that you could keep up the pretense and drive yourself around comfortably while making excuses as to why you couldn't pick me up. I don't think you even did it for a couple of months, if I'm honest. Then you started with your excuses, like me being busy and working overtime so our finish times don't match. After a while, I just ended up coming home on my own. You even started going in late, so you stopped giving me a lift to work too. It's my car, and I can hardly ever even drive it anymore. Do you have anything to say?
That was because,
Actually, I don't even want to hear it. You don't even realize what you've done wrong, do you? There's no point even trying to talk to you anymore. Let's just get a divorce.
You want a divorce over something like this? Don't you have any sense of responsibility at all?
Responsibility? You're talking to me about responsibilities? You have done nothing at all for our family. If we're gonna pick who's at fault here, it's you. Do you not even realize that?
Why am I at fault? Are you just saying that because you make more money than me?
See, you don't even realize what you've done wrong or what the problem is, do you? In the end, I've done everything. I manage the money, I do the housework, the shopping, I pay the expenses, I bought the house and the car. I've done everything. What have you brought to this family? You haven't really taken any notice of anything for so long that you don't even know yourself, do you? You didn't have to pay any attention to what was going on because I was doing it all myself, you see? I don't know why I have to live with a mommy's boy who, if left on his own, doesn't know how to make dinner, do the washing, do the cleaning. I've had enough. I really have. I don't want to talk about this any longer. I want a divorce. If you don't want to have to pay me alimony as well out of that measly salary of yours, I suggest you just sign and get it over with.
Fine. You really are evil. I don't want to live with a woman as evil as you anymore either. Let's do it.
So, you've really decided that you're going to divorce. Will you be okay?
Yes, Mom. I really don't think I can live like this a minute longer. I'm embarrassed to even look at you and Dad after that whole fridge fiasco. I think I need to just stop this and get a divorce before things get even worse.
Tim said he was fine with it too, did he?
Yeah, he did. He said he can't live with someone like me any longer either. He packed up most of his things and left this morning. The house is in my name, so he didn't really have a choice, to be honest. I guess he's taken a half day and gone running to Mommy.
Well, I think you made the right decision. I'm just glad that you managed to get out of the marriage before he lost you any more money, or anything else for that matter. I just didn't say anything before because you loved him. You did the right thing.
We're gonna send the documents tomorrow. I just want to get all this over and done with as soon as possible, really. Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry you have to see me like this.
It's fine. You have nothing to feel sorry about. I just want you to be happy. It doesn't matter to me what path you need to take to get there. You just have to get back on your feet, that's all. Divorce isn't really a big thing anymore anyway, is it?
Thanks, Mom. I'll get back on my feet and show you what I can do.
If you really don't think you can do it alone, you are always welcome to move back with me and your dad. You know that, don't you? Just do whatever is best for you, okay?
Thanks. Is it okay if I stay here tonight?
Sure. When your dad comes, shall we go out for steak or something? We haven't been out for dinner, just the three of us, for such a long time. What do you think?
That sounds great, Mom. You really are the best. You're at your mom's place, aren't you? I signed the papers and sent them just before. Have a look at them, sign them, and hand them in as soon as you can, okay? I've put the bank book and your card for your savings account in with the documents. I transferred half of the money that was in our joint savings account into your personal savings account as well. Let's not meet again.
You just do what you want. Hello, Lucy? What's going on? Why have you got the house and the car?
Oh, you weren't listening properly as usual when I said I wanted a divorce, were you? Well, as I said then, the house is in my name and I paid off the loan we took out to buy it with the money that I had earned. And the car was mine before we even got married, wasn't it? Did you think they were both included in the division of assets? I told you, you didn't contribute anything to our family. You'd better just think yourself lucky that I was putting half of your wages into your savings account and most of the other half into our joint savings account. Otherwise, you wouldn't have anything at all. You don't have the money to put away like that anymore. You'd better get used to the frugal living that you loved so much again, because that's all you're going to be able to afford.
We're married, so surely the house and the car are assets as a married couple? Why don't I get any of it?
The house and the car are my assets. The car I had before I even met you, and the house I paid for on my own, and it's in my name. They're both my personal assets. They have nothing to do with you. If you're this stupid, please at least look up the rules and study them first. This is why all of your coworkers have got promoted, but you alone have been in the same position for years. I'm going to hang up now. Don't call me again.
Lucy, what should we have for lunch?
What about pasta? I'll get it.
That sounds great. Is it a special day or something? It's just that you said that you'd get my lunch, that's all.
No, not really. Now that I'm no longer a married woman, I can at least buy lunch for my favorite coworker, can I now?
I guess that's one of the perks of being single again.
Oh, and it's a secret, but I've sold our house. The house price had risen quite a lot, so I made some money out of it. I think that that's good enough a reason for me to be able to buy you lunch, isn't it?
Instead of getting pasta for lunch, how about you buy me steak for dinner?
Okay, if that's what you want, I'll get you both. Pasta for lunch, steak for dinner. How does that sound?
Wow, Lucy, you really are the best. Newly singles are the best. Co-workers are the best. You seem to be a lot happier since you got divorced. How's your ex-husband doing?
Oh, according to Neil, he's not doing so well.
Are you still close to Neil then? He was the one who got scouted by a competing company, isn't he?
Yeah, he did. I got divorced from Tim, not from Neil. We're still in touch. He helps me a lot at work, you know. He's 1 in a million.
I guess so. I guess divorcing Tim doesn't really make a difference, does it? He's let you know how it's going with Tim then?
Well, he doesn't usually say anything about him, but last time I spoke to him, he said that Tim was being punished. I'm pretty curious as to what he meant, so I was thinking about asking him when we meet after work tomorrow.
Oh, I see. If you find out, be sure to let me know too. Got it? I wonder what it could mean.
Okay, sure. I'm a bit nervous about asking him, to be honest.
Hey, Lucy, over here. A long time no see.
Hi, Neil. How have you been? We only haven't been able to meet because you're so busy all the time. Don't make out like it's my fault that we haven't met.
How's work? As busy as always?
Yeah, it's just normal. It's not so bad now that we're past the really busy period, I guess. How's your new company?
It's the same no matter where you work, really, isn't it? I've got a lot more responsibilities now that I'm a department head. Maybe I should have just stayed as a team leader.
I know that you went to get a higher salary. You can't fool me, you know.
That is true. I guess I just have to put up with it for the higher salary. Aren't you going to ask me? Don't tell me you weren't planning to ask me about Tim while you had me here.
How did you guess? Now that you mention it. How's he doing? You said before that he was being punished. I wasn't really interested until you said that, but that turn of phrase made me really curious.
It's just as I said. He's being punished. I guess that he thought that when you two got divorced, he'd get at least some of your assets. He didn't have anything put in place. It's really lucky for him that he has the money that you kept in a savings account for him, or I don't know what would have happened to him. He said that you had been saving half of his wages there for him or something like that. Anyway, I guess he couldn't afford a deposit anywhere in the city with that money. As his mom moved back to the countryside to be near her sister, he doesn't really have anywhere to go. It's not like he can just move to the countryside and live with his mom either. He apparently found a place to rent just outside of the city. Before he married you, he had never had a car, so he just traveled on public transport without really giving it a thought or knowing any different. But since he'd been using your car all the time, he decided that he could no longer live without one. So he used the leftover money to buy himself a car. He took out a loan for the housing deposit and bought a car with the money that you saved for him. So now I think he's struggling to pay back that loan. He was always so frugal and good at saving. When did he start spending so much?
Well, I guess I was looking after the money while we were married, and as my salary is quite a bit more than his, he got used to having more money, my money, to throw around. I was the only one who was saving while we were married, not him.
Yes, that's what I thought too. I could see that you're still being careful and saving your money now. Well, he doesn't seem to be able to get back in control of his spending and has the loan and credit cards. He's been doing manual labor and working 2 jobs to try and keep on top of all of his newly acquired debt. I told him to just sell his car, but he wasn't having any of it. In the midst of all of this, I guess a young girl caught his eye, and he's been trying to get her attention with designer bags and stuff. I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't listen, so I don't really know what happened after that. He's no longer my friend, I guess.
What? You mean you broke off your friendship? Wow, I just assumed that the two of you were still friends.
I didn't want to watch him make such a mess of his life. It's not fun to watch. It was even more annoying seeing as he wouldn't even listen to reason, so I decided not to meet him anymore.
That's right, you are a very decisive person, Neil, aren't you?
He was gradually making more and more of a mess of his life, but he didn't even realize what he was doing wrong. How could I just stand by and watch? Seeing as I couldn't do anything about it, I'd rather just have no part in it at all. He was making it a lot worse by getting it into his head that he was going to meet that young girl. He wouldn't listen, even though people were just trying to help him. I think even his mother has given up on him now. Has she tried to contact you at all?
She did call me once, yes, after the divorce. When we were married, she was always telling me to take good care of her son and things like that. But when she called me about 2 months after the divorce, I think it was, she said thanks for what I'd done for her, and that she hoped I would live a fun and happy life. I wonder if she was suddenly sorry for the way her and her son had treated me. I don't know. That's the end of it now anyway. I threatened that if that jerk Tim ever tried to contact me again, I'd make his life hell. I must have scared him or something because he really never contacted me again after that. That at least is a huge relief.
He really is a bit of a joke now, isn't he? How can a scaredy cat like that live that kind of life?
I guess he can still keep up with his spending just about. He'll regret it all later when he's dug himself into such a hole that he can't get out again. It's pretty amazing how someone who likes spending money as much as he does was so careful and saved so well before we got married. I really can't believe it.
I think it was probably all a front so that he could get married and live a comfortable life. He just made that image of himself. It was all an act. I guess it has to have been because people don't usually change, do they? At least not that drastically. He was the guy who loved to spend all along.
That does actually make sense. It's like I got scammed into marrying the man that I thought he was.
You're really funny sometimes, you know? I heard that you moved too. Back with your parents, right? You, on the other hand, seem to be doing much better now that you're no longer married. I heard that you're a team leader now.
Good, isn't it? I've taken up investing too. I've studied about investment and have invested the money that I saved during the time we were married. I seem to be pretty good at it too. I've made quite a profit. I got my dad a new car last month using the money I'd made.
Wow, amazing. Well done. Do you have any plans of remarrying at all?
I don't know really, not at the moment. But if the right person comes along, who knows? I might at least date, I guess. Before I was married, I had no idea about money and finances and thought my husband to be, with all his talk of saving, was amazing. However, after marrying him, I found that he wasn't using his head and saving to be a better person, but because with his measly salary, that is what he had to do to survive. As our life together became more comfortable, he started spending more and more money. He began spending endlessly on himself and his parents while keeping his saving mentality wherever my parents or I were involved. This is what made me dislike him more and more. Thanks to my ex-husband, however, I learned to save, and now I have also learned about investment and smart spending as well. It seems as though my ex-husband's spending habits are driving him into a bottomless pit, while I am as close as I can get to an easygoing, carefree life. After the divorce, I don't know if it was because he drove me to the edge or something, but I totally lost interest in men for some time. However, now that I have more money to do the things that I've always wanted to do, I'm starting to notice the men around me again more and more. I met someone I knew from college on the way home by chance one day, and even though while we were at college, he seemed like quite the clown to me, we've been getting on really well. We have been going out for dinner occasionally and going on drives on the weekends. I'm enjoying seeing someone again. The thrill and excitement from this new relationship is making me smile from ear to ear for the first time in a very long while. I'm planning to keep up with his smart spending in the future and living life with my happiness first and foremost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.